And Richie's there, and Magnus there already. Wow, this is serious. Magnus at the board way too early.
Yeah, meaning business. Yeah, just signaling that I'm very serious.
Handshake and pawn to d4. Serious move. e6, Richie's saying, what about the French? That crappy Wienerware I've been playing? Do you want a shot at it? And Magnus says, yes, please.
Wow, because actually Magnus is playing Richie's system with recently, which means that Magnus should be very into it.
Yeah, and Anish also showed the way against Magnus, so he can just follow Anish.
You think Magnus didn't knew that before?
Probably did, but always good to follow Anish in the opening. Unfortunately, the board is not as fast as we would like it to be, because clearly they've made more moves.
Yeah, maybe let's just zoom in then, as long as we don't get...
This is not the position. This is probably board 2. Looks like Nepomniachtchi against Nakamura. And yeah, looks like we don't have camera off the board. Here comes some moves. No, but Richie was wise enough to change systems. When queen c7, Carlsen goes h4, h5, as they do in many of these lines. Bishop b5, also typical, luring the bishop to d7. But it's also what Richie wants, to close the queen side, put the bishop on a4. Old sort of blocking setup. But will it block the king side as well?
Yeah, knight a6. So basically this knight is heading to c7. Yeah, probably queen to d7, knight c7, eventually knight b5. Targeting some pawns. Yeah, and Magnus will slowly have to prepare some breakthrough on the king side.
Yeah. Long maneuvering battle, but it looks like Rapport got a decent position for these lines. No, he didn't get run over on the king side. And it will take a long time to prepare an efficient breakthrough here.
Yeah, but this is a typical way, that Magnus maneuvers his knight to e3 with the construction bishop on f4, knight on e3, pawn on h5, fixing the h6 pawn so that black won't be really able to break anything on the king side. And slowly, king f1, g3, king g2, very classy play. But hang on, I mean, some f6, this knight on c7 is a very special piece. And Richie just goes queen e8.
Queen g8, headed for h7.
Well, but now with the knight on e3, I'm not sure how much does this, because this is a real old classical plan played by Yusupov. Queen g8, queen h7.
I recall, I read the Dvoretsky books. What does white do? Do you bring the rooks over, or do you start pushing pawns?
Big call. Yeah, how do we want to break this? Yeah, usually this bishop instead of e2 is on h3 or something, and then it's obvious what white is trying to get some f4, f5 in. See, the bishop on e2, I'm a bit uncomfortable. And look at Richie's clock management, 253. Still amazing.
Still in his own book. Magnus taking time here. Tricky spot.
Very tricky. Because the problem is you don't know exactly. Queen h7 is coming, maybe somewhere f6 break is coming. If you don't have a clear cut and the rooks are not yet participating from white side.
Yeah. You could bring them into action, but then you have to start at least thinking about the a3 pawn. I'm not sure it's an issue. But he doesn't want to leave it alone. Goes bishop f3, queen e2, another small reshuffling.
Well, you also have to look at this, and Richie immediately removed the king from b7 to b8, just in case getting out of this diagonal, of the long diagonal. You have to watch out for some knight takes c4, dc, rook b4 tricks with the king on b7.
Weren't allowed. b2, knight b5, targeting some pawns. It's heating up. After queen d2, can we really take? Probably not.
No, but hang on. I mean, really is
exactly.
That's the sacrifice.
Knight takes c4.
But how to continue?
Queen c4? Or d5?
But
It's too
d5, knight
complicated for
takes
me.
c3, probably.
So probably queen takes c4.
But then we run into all kinds of pins.
And jumps. And Carlsen, come on board, hurry up. He's done something wrong. He went for... He didn't go knight c4, he went for knight takes d5.
Ah, he went for
d
knight
e6.
d5.
Gave the piece like this, but after queen f5, he's in big trouble.
Yeah, this doesn't work.
Rook b4. Throwing more pieces to the fire. Has he overdone it? Knight takes d5. He should have played knight takes c4, and our board thought he did for a second. Oof, this is tense.
Maybe, yeah, we have to comment from the live board. What do we see?
Rook b4, bishop takes c2 played.
King on a6, bishop takes c2. Yeah, if basically black gets the chance to trade the light square bishops with bishop e4, then it's practically game over.
So he took on b4, Carlsen gave a check, took with the queen, he's a rook down now. Bishop takes c2, a4, knight c7. Bishop takes.
But hang on, because queen e4 check, then there is a perpetual check maybe coming, or not. You hide on a8. King b7, king a8.
What is this like? Queen e4, king g4 force, takes, check, check, king a8. Do we have time for f3?
It's scary.
Yeah, rook d8, f8, queen. This very much continues. But he played a5. he's an exchange and a rook down, but not in a hurry. Wants to go a6, queen d7 check. And somehow it's not so simple for black with the queen out of play.
Not
Amazing
at all,
position.
Yeah. And the king on g4 is lovely. What a crazy position.
So again, the pawn on h5 doing a good job, restricting black from giving any nasty checks. Oof.
Very tough to play.
And we have developments. Rook hd8, a6 check, king a8, f8 queen to distract the rook. Rook takes queen d7, but now rook f4. Queen g2 check, king h4 takes. Is this perpetual?
Or
Q says black is winning, but how?
Amazing position. Yeah, where is the...
King g2, king h4 back. How do you win?
Yeah, because the rook can never move to b8 due to queen c6 checkmate. King b8 runs into queen b7 checkmate.
He goes for it. He goes g5 check. King g4, h5 check. Does look like black is winning this somehow. King f3. Of course, black is a perpetual, but does he have more?
Yeah, what changed? I mean, can black somehow, but yeah, he can never get to the a6.
Queen h4, that's the key.
Because queen g4 check, yeah? But hang on, king f3.
King f3, queen g4.
But then takes, and we have two pass pawns, I don't know. But then b5, b4 comes quickly. Hard to calculate. And we see this endgame happening.
It's on the board, but it's winning for black apparently. b4, f6. Wow.
What a game.
Nakamura, in the meantime, another great tough fight. Nepomniachtchi really pushed him. 70 moves draw. And Carlsen's losing. What's going on, by the way? We get the moves, but in bulk. Is there something wrong with the PGN? Or is the camera just ahead of us? I don't understand.
Yeah, something is wrong, but yeah, queen h2 check, king g6, queen g3 check happened.
Looks like it's just winning now for black. Rook up, this pawn can be controlled.
Yeah, now the
queen
queen on
goes to
g4
g4. Yeah.
protects the rook on c8, protects
goes
the g8
c3.
square.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Give a check here. Yeah, this is over.
But queen b7 checkmate is a threat.
Oh, and queen e3. Apparently it's a draw. It's never over. Should never say that.
g8 queen. Wow, Richie is losing or what?
Queen e8, g8. All of a sudden, white has 2 queens. Come on board, update. We can't do this. Seriously, FIDE. Please, give us moves. Okay, let's just look at the live feed. Carlsen has 2 queens. And
2 queens up and wins the game.
Wins this game from a lost position. Wow, what a bullet dodge. And look at him. The happiness. Oof. This is big. Dubov is there to give some insights. And that means Carlsen catches Nakamura. Oof.